Hello and welcome to episode 41 of the CANAS podcast.
Were you just looking at my tablet to think of the number?
Yeah, I can't. It's interesting. I can't remember this, or what number of podcast episode we're on, whatever you call it. But phone numbers, I remember 50 of them off the top of my head.
I can't remember phone numbers, but addresses I can.
Yeah?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, this week, the NHL season has started.
Yep.
Well, officially started last week, I guess, with the two Europe games. But this week, it started on, I want to say Tuesday.
Yes,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep.
Where they had that ridiculously fun announcement at center ice. Do you remember that one? Where the ref is like, "Hello and welcome to the NHL 22-23 season. We are so proud of our players." Just like that crap.
No, I didn't.
You didn't hear that? Oh, that was funny. That was all over the internet.
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my god, it was so cringy, dude. Oh, it was awful. Okay, well, NHL, we'll talk about that. Some footy. I think there's some pretty important news to talk about, to discuss in footy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's no tennis on, really. There's small tournaments, really not worth mentioning. Golf as well, small tournaments, not worth mentioning. The NBA season will be starting pretty soon.
Yep, and there is a significant signing we can talk about later.
Yes. And
I don't think you know, but I know, so I'll surprise you.
The only player is Jordan Poole.
Okay, so it's not him. So I'll tell you when we come to it.
MLB, I think the only thing we'll share, Blue Jays are out, unfortunately. Canadians that are in the MLB I think both have been eliminated from postseason now, because so 3 of the final 4 are set, if I'm not mistaken. Houston Astros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also Houston Astros, dude. No, 4-4, because Cleveland just beat the Yankees.
Yep.
So all 4 are set. It's Houston, who went into the top of the 18th and got their first run yesterday.
That was crazy.
1-0 at that point. Ridiculous. Cleveland Guardians, which, if I'm not mistaken, neither have a prominent Canadian player. And then we have the
Padres,
who eliminated the Braves. No, the
Dodgers,
who have a Canadian in Freddie Freeman. And
he didn't want to come to Toronto, even though, yeah, no.
I'd rather have our first baseman than him.
Yeah, no kidding.
And lastly, but certainly not least, the Phillies defeated the Braves, who also have a Canadian on that roster. So I think Canada's out of the MLB postseason. So we're done talking about it.
Yeah, so no baseball for a while.
Nope. So, footy. Let's just start there. Not much news, but probably huge news. Small but huge. Alphonso Davies got kicked in the face last week.
Yes, I do remember that.
Skull contusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they were scared it was a concussion plus skull contusion, but he's back. It looks like he is back already.
Oh, that's good.
So, fingers crossed that he doesn't miss any more time. I'd rather him miss time now
than miss the World Cup. Yeah.
But, there's no question that we're a better team with Alphonso Davies in the lineup.
Oh, yeah. No,
but
definitely,
Alphonso Davies tries way too hard in the lineup. But he's the most talented player in all of Canada. There's no question. And we have some good players, man. Jonathan David, Tajon Buchanan. We've got some good players.
Oh, yeah.
Good young players. But Davies, he just tries too much sometimes. He's like, "Hey, I'm the best." I'm like, "We all know it, dude. We all know it. Got it."
But soccer's a team sport, so got to pass it.
Jonathan David is leading the league in scoring. 9 goals.
Nice.
Yeah. He scored from a penalty the other day. Which makes me think, if Canada gets a penalty shot in the World Cup, it's going to be Jonathan David shooting it, right? I would think so.
You would think, yeah.
I would think so. Steven Eustáquio is starting to get more and more minutes with Porto.
Nice.
Which is huge. We still don't have any prominent defenders in a major league in the States. Or, sorry, in Europe. Which, it's very, for this Canadian team to develop and get to the next level, that has to happen. We need one of our players to play in Europe that's a defender. Kamal Miller needs to be the first one. He has to. Steven Vittoria's playing over there in Portugal right now, and he had a really good week actually. Very like he got sent off last week, but this week he came back and just crushed it.
Nice.
Did really really well. But it can't be just a 36-year-old Steven Vittoria that plays out in Europe. Like, just realistically, like, this team needs to be developing more in Europe, playing against a higher competition. I'd say nothing against the MLS, but like the MLS is not good.
Compared to Europe, it's leagues, no.
Like they would be third tier England MLS in my opinion. Like England third tier teams and MLS could compete and be competitive with each other. Once you get to the championship, no. Maybe the couple bottom teams in the championship, but you put any MLS team over in Europe, they're not very competitive. Except for who has Gareth Bale. Bale could like carry a team on his own in the championship in England. So Canada needs players out there to compete. Like Richie Larea couldn't make Nottingham Forest. They loaned him out to TFC again. Like that's important for him to actually play meaningful minutes out there. So we'll see. There's still time. There's not time for this World Cup, but there's time for our home World Cup in 4 years. So by the time like this in I guess 3 years time, because the World Cup here will be during the summer. If in 3 years time we don't have at least 3 starters on defense in Europe, like I don't like our chances. So remember this.
Like it'll be tough, but like they need the experience in order to, I guess, keep up or like go to the next level in the World Cup. Obviously,
absolutely. This World Cup was all about just getting there and showing that Canada can compete with the best in the world. That's huge. That's massive right there. The next World Cup is going to be Canada needs to be competitive in the World Cup.
Because we're already in it.
Yeah.
So it's just...
If Canada loses all 3 games this year, like I don't think anybody bats an eye. Like not anybody in the world is not too upset about it. Like as long as it's not like 5-0 losses every single game. Like if it's 2-1, 1-0 each game, it's like, man, these guys competed. And our group is the group of death.
Yep.
Belgium's ranked 2nd. Croatia's ranked 8th, I think. Morocco's ranked 17th in the world. Like we literally have the highest possible ranked teams to play against in the world. And like Belgium and Croatia are unreal teams. Morocco's a really good team too. And they have Hakimi, who is a world-class player. So it'll be interesting. I assume Alistair Johnson and Kamal Miller get the left side or the right side of defense just to defend against Hakimi. But we'll see. And as long as Mark Anthony Kaye doesn't play in the World Cup, like we need to be developing play. Like Mark Anthony Kaye has given his all for this country. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's done everything he can for this country in football, especially. But he is the type of player that Canada used to have all the time. Hard-working, physical guys with minimal talent. His talent level isn't the level for a World Cup. His work ethic is going to be one of the best in the World Cup for sure. Don't question it. But his talent is not there. I don't think he thinks the game well enough. And I don't think that's not something really you can coach. It's just you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
But one thing that's fantastic about him is how hard he works. And if he does go to the World Cup as like one of the substitutes, he will be the hardest working player, and he's going to motivate the guys to train as hard as they can and play as hard as they can. So, like, he serves really good purpose. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Mark Anthony Kaye. Like, he's a great MLS player. But, like, Mark Anthony Kaye defending against Kevin De Bruyne? No. I'm sorry. That terrifies me. Stefan Eustachio against De Bruyne still terrifies me, but, like, Stefan Eustachio has the ability to go against him.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it's Samuel Piette and Eustachio playing. I would hope it's Atiba Hutchinson, but I still don't think he's been playing anytime. He hasn't played and he won't be playing anytime soon, so that's going to be tough. But that all said, I think for Canada to be competitive in the World Cup, they have to defend as a whole unit, and they can't be as jumpy as they've been over the last 2, especially in Uruguay. They just jumped in, dived into every single tackle they could, and then Uruguay just did one skill move to get around them, and then it's a non-man advantage the other way. Like that can't happen. That they also have to mark their men a lot better in the box. The Nunez or whatever his name, that goal was just way too easy to score. You just have to be more than 6'5" and you score that. Or Nunez isn't even 6'5", he's like 6'2", I think 6'3".
But still.
Anyways, that's all I got for footy. So what's your basketball news?
So I don't know how you didn't know about this signing because you kept talking about him every single time we talked about basketball this past season. Andrew Wiggens signed an extension with the Golden State Warriors.
No idea. What did he sign for?
He signed for 4 years, I believe, like 109 million.
Not bad.
Yeah,
he's making some good bank.
Right. Considering he played for the Timberwolves for like the longest time and tried his best, obviously, with the Timberwolves, but can't really do much with the Timberwolves.
Well, he did have a max contract with them too, so
yeah. But getting an extension with the Warriors is really good because, like you said, like his defensive play is like really, really good. Mm-hmm. Definitely helped him win the championship this past season. So
Andrew Wiggins' defense is elite.
Yeah,
like at least top 20 in the entire NBA for sure.
Yeah,
you could argue 15 or even 10. Like that, his defense is elite. So that's great. That's a great signing for the Wolves.
No, it's the Warriors.
Great signing for the Warriors.
He used to play for the Wolves.
Yeah. No, great signing by the Warriors for sure.
Yeah.
They still have like at least 2 or 3 more good years of Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, hopefully he comes back this year. They'll be competitive again this year.
Oh yeah,
as long as there's not too much drama in that dressing room.
Yes, but I can see them probably winning again.
Yeah,
with Wiggins and everyone else still there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hockey. Might as well just go there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about each Canadian team has already played at least their first game. I think all of them have played 2.
Nope. Winnipeg only played 1.
Oh, that's right. Winnipeg, let's start with them. Like, not a bad result against the Rangers. I mean, they played against Halak, not Shesterkin. So they played against the backup on the second of back-to-back.
Still, Halak is still pretty good, still.
Yeah, but he put up pretty bad numbers in Vancouver last year. That said, Vancouver's a terrible defensive team, right? But, yeah, Winnipeg, I was impressed. I genuinely didn't think that they would win 4-1 the way they did. But yeah, good. Like, bonuses is really instilling just a work ethic, a culture of like hard work and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's way too early to. I mean, this.
It's only 2 games or 1 game.
What's your way too early highlight and low light of the season so far for the
Canadians
teams?
Highlight, I would say how Calgary is playing like really good offensively without Gaudreau and Tkachuk there. Like that last year, the first line of Tkachuk, Gaudreau, and Lindholm, probably one of the best. Like up there, like top 5 at least. But not having them and having just Huberdeau up there in the first line and then having Kadri in the second line, still putting up lots of goals. Even it's first two games, but like still, like how much did he score? Like 11 in 2 games. Like that's still pretty good, considering like you don't have your offensive powers like you did last year. Mm-hmm. I guess staying in Alberta, way too early, like low life. But they shouldn't be playing like this. The Edmonton Oilers and their sloppy first periods usually, like going down like at least by like 2 or 3 after the first period, and then having to play catch up. Like by now you're like the last few years, like you're not scared that they're down a couple goals because you have McDavid, Draisaitl, and everyone, and you know they'll be able to catch up. But just they have to play a lot better in the first period. They have to, because you can't be playing catch up the whole season.
In the first period so far this season, 2 games, the Oilers have been outscored 6-1. Second and third period, the Oilers have outscored their opposition 7-1.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would agree. Way too early low light is definitely the Oilers' start. I don't think like Campbell's been at fault for maybe 2 goals in the first game, 1 in the second. I would really put
I would say that.
2, but like not horrible goaltending. It's just it's poor defending in front of him for that. But they got a lot better. Second and third period last game, the Oilers were fantastic. Like that was a legit team. My highlights, Calgary, man. That's a good team.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic hockey team. Their backup goalie is unbelievable.
Ladar, oh my God, yeah.
Ladar is unreal. He's so good. Definitely one of the top backups in the league. And they're going to be tough not losing him in free agency next time because just people are going to want to have him as their starter. Like he's better than at least 10 starters out there already.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That's definitely my highlight. My low light, probably Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Yeah, that defending is an atrocity in that city. I remember hearing in their broadcast, like Boudreaux's just straight up like they're gonna have to outscore their defensive woes. That's not gonna work in the NHL. If they want to be competitive, that's not gonna work.
Not anymore.
That also said they have a couple injuries on the defense, like their top pairing guys, or even like the top 4 guys. They have 2 of their top 4 guys that are injured. They would all be like number 7 defensemen in most other teams, but like they're big players for them.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Myers, Tucker Poolman, both of those guys are injured. That's tough. But Vancouver's defending is awful, and they definitely need to fix that if they want to even think about making the playoffs this year. That said, I wouldn't start worrying about it until like halfway through the season. About 40 games in, I would say, is really when you want to, because you still want to be like close to the playoffs. You don't want to be like the Eastern Conference last year, where all of the like by December,
by start of December,
yeah. Pretty much set, like I think so. You and I looked at it last year on like Christmas Day. I think the East playoffs was set with the sole exception that Detroit was in a playoff spot as opposed to Boston, but Boston had like 7 games in hand.
Oh yeah, so
and like if they won even like just 2 of those, they were going to be ahead of Detroit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just competitive. It needs to be competitive. And that Eastern Conference is good, but Edmonton has a very favorable schedule coming up. Buffalo and then Washington, who's not looking like a very good team.
Do you think because of how Skinner played last game, do you think he'd probably get the start for Buffalo? Because it is Buffalo.
I don't think. I think they would want Campbell to just have a full game and be confident after a game. I don't.
But why not reward Skinner for playing really well against Calgary when he came in?
Because I don't think it was Campbell's fault.
No, it wasn't Campbell's fault, but at least
garbage defense in front of him. I'm also I was very concerned with Skinner's rebound control last game too. Like the defense had to like clear all rebounds away from him, which is like they did good in doing it. And Skinner, good on him for getting to the puck and like making that initial save. But the rebound control, but like same with Campbell. Campbell's rebound control for the first goal was what caused that first goal. For the fourth goal, I would even argue the second and third were tough. The second he had no real chance because it was just the perfect shot, big block.
Yeah.
Or like big screen by his defenseman and the Calgary forward. And then the third goal was a breakaway because what's-his-face fell.
I forgot. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
But I would say because it is Buffalo.
Answer. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think it would make sense to start Skinner. I know you want Skinner to start. But it would make sense to start Skinner. It would. I
just reward him for shutting out Calgary.
I also think it would make sense to start Campbell.
Just to get his confidence back?
Well, yeah, it's two pretty... Like, one good start of the first game was good.
Yeah.
He let in a weaker goal, but
again,
made some massive saves to keep us in it, and then eventually won the game. Mm-hmm. That's huge. We're not going to take that away from him. Skinner, on the other hand, came in, 10 minutes into the first?
Basically, yeah.
And was lights out. He made some big saves. Calgary had a couple big scoring chances that he stopped, but genuinely, the Oilers played significantly better defense when Skinner was in net. Like, significantly. Anything that was cleared in the middle of the ice was shot to the corner, thrown away. They were throwing their bodies in front of everything. Like, Cece made 2 big saves. Like, this team needs to play defense starting at the very first minute. Like, somebody needs to remind them what time the game starts, because they don't seem to remember. They seem to think that the beginning of the second period is when the game starts. And this isn't just an issue from this year. This is an issue from last year. Like, this is genuinely...
It's been an issue for, like, a long time, yeah.
It's very concerning for me. If this team doesn't start learning how to play full 60 minutes, like, they're not going to win the cup. They're going to make the playoffs, I think, still. Like, this is still a good enough team to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But... also, how good does our third line look? Like, even just McLeod, Yamamoto, and Fogle. How good were they yesterday? Unbelievable. Like, the cycle they were continuing all the time, like, that is better than almost every third line in the league. That's just ridiculous. And then that allows you to play McDavid and Draisaitl together.
Yep, and then just move Nuge up and play second line.
Yeah. The Oilers, if we include the first period, did not deserve to win this game.
No.
Second, third period, they dominated. Like, they were the better team in second and third for sure. But Vladar was fantastic. And it just wasn't good enough.
Mm-mm.
It's 60 minutes. You can't just play 40 minutes and expect to win. Not even against the worst teams.
Nope. So,
I still fully expect, like, the Oilers' record is going to be somewhere like 55, 25, and 2, around there.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Yeah, they're gonna be 102 point team or 112, somewhere around there. I don't see them, like, they shouldn't be losing too many, and their schedule coming up looks pretty decent. That they should be okay. That also said, Calgary will also have a very similar record. I cannot stress enough how good that Calgary team is. That's an exceptional team. Even if they have injuries to, like, 3 of their major players, that is still going to be a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's the biggest injury, your biggest injury concern for the Flames? Like, who's the one guy that you're like, if this guy's out, we're screwed?
Like, position-wise or, like, player-wise?
Player-wise.
Well, if Vladar wasn't Vladar, I was going to say Markstrom, but Vladar is really good, so I wouldn't be worried about them.
So for me, this is a trick question because there's none.
I was going to say
because they're so deep on defense.
Yeah.
Their defense yesterday was sensational. They don't even have Shillington in it. Like, Shillington's still out. Their forward group is incredible. Like, if you get rid of Kadri, they didn't have him all last year. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Huberdeau did nothing last game. Lindholm, they can put Kadri in number 1 center.
Yeah.
Backlund might be their biggest key piece. Like, Backlund's one of the premier defensive forwards in the league. So I can see maybe Backlund would be the only one that I would say.
But then they still have the depth to just pop someone in there and still be fine.
Yeah. Their whole defense is outstanding. Hanifin, Rasmus Anderson, Nikita Zadorov played really good last game. Shillington. Uyghur. Like, oh my God, dude, that team is so good. So good. Meanwhile, for the Oilers, if Nurse goes down, we're unbelievably concerned for the defense. Unbelievably so. Although Kulak is outrageously good right now. Kulak showing to be a legit top 4 defenseman.
Oh, yeah.
Again, way too early in the season. But if this is good. Because the last couple weeks, the last couple of seasons, the Oilers have, like, last season we started off really good. Season prior we started off pretty darn good. But each of the last 2 seasons were like, okay, but, like, we're gonna come back down to earth pretty soon.
And we did hard last year.
We did hard last year. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't, like, this team should be good enough to not have that happen. I don't know. Well, we'll see. I believe in Jay. I believe in the team. I think we have the leadership to be able to do it.
It's just we have to play the full 60, not 40.
If these guys start playing the full 60, oh my God, it's scary, dude. It's scary. I'm not expecting them to play a full 60 for 82 games in a season. Like, that's not realistic.
No, but
like, come out for at least 60.
Like, if you're not going to score, like, at least play, like, defensive and not give, like, those rebounds and just let them shoot with, like a wide open shot, basically. So,
yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see. But anyways, anything else you want to add in hockey or anything? There's no real thing.
Not really. Like,
it's way. Had a stupid start to the season, though. Hey, is it the kid?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's too early. Like, the usual teams are playing like they should. Ottawa, I guess surprisingly, considering like their additions that they have, is like winless in 2, but I can see them bouncing back during the season, so that they're not too worried, or there's no concern, I guess. I was surprised that Montreal beat Toronto in their first game.
I was shocked. That might be their only win of the season. Oh no, they play Arizona twice.
Yeah, so but no, nothing really to add. Like I said, too early, so not really gonna look into like the players specifically.
Man, our fantasy hockey this week, I had the second best team and I lost. Second best team in the whole league and I lost. That's so frustrating.
And I was about to lose mine until Skinner came in. And he shut out Calgary, so I didn't lose any points for goals against.
There's one matchup too that it's like they're just garbage teams, man. Just too terrible. Whatever. This is promising for the rest of the season. If Elvis was healthy and didn't have the sniffles, I would have won. It's all right. Tyler is a good guy though, so I'm okay with losing to Tyler.
Well, yeah, I think we're good. That was a very short episode.
Yeah. We finally have a short episode.
Finally.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening to episode 41 of the CANAS podcast. Next week we'll have 42 and we'll recap more hockey, I think. And we'll know more baseball.
It'll be
just mostly hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you later.